Hello MotoGP fans, welcome back to ZNGP today. Fresh off a commanding Friday at the Aragon GP, 8-time champion Marc Márquez showed exactly why he's still a force to be reckoned with in MotoGP. Speaking to the media after FP2, Marquez broke down his plan for the weekend, from his choice of corners to his tire management strategy, and made it clear that his biggest rival, for now, just happens to be his own brother. As speculation swirls around the future of Pecco Bagnaia and his place in Ducati's factory team, the former world champion confronted the rumors head-on after a challenging Friday at the Aragon GP. With a difficult practice session behind him and Marc Márquez stealing the headlines, Bagnaia remained firm in his values and optimistic about turning the weekend around. Friday at Motorland Aragon was a tough day for Yamaha's Fabio Quartararo, who found himself battling inexplicable rear grip issues that left the 2021 world champion 18th fastest and unable to secure a direct Q2 spot. After a strong run of 3 consecutive poles, the French rider struggled to understand the sudden electronic and traction problems, especially on the soft tire. Here's a deep dive into Quartararo's challenging day and what lies ahead. Pramac Yamaha's Jack Miller encountered tire tribulations that derailed what began as a promising Friday. Although conditions were typical for late spring in Aragon, and his baseline setup felt strong, a sudden loss of balance on the soft rear compounded by front-end push dropped him to P16 in FP2. Tonight, Miller reflects on the day's surprises, tire strategy conundrums, and his hunt for a setup that contained the unpredictable slide. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. From the very first laps at Motorland Aragon, Márquez set a blistering pace. He topped the timesheets not once, but twice. First on the medium front/soft rear combination, then again after swapping tires in the afternoon. But while the stopwatch told one story, Márquez's focus was on information gathering. My goal was to go out with intensity, like I do every Friday, to stake my claim. I can put in a fast lap right away. Sure, others closed in on that time attack, but I was completely comfortable. Remember, Friday only sets the stage. What matters is how you finish. Maintain the same aggression into Saturday, but be ready to adapt as track grip and tire behavior evolve. Strategy at Aragon isn't just about tire choices, it's also about corner selection. Márquez admitted he deliberately avoids riding beyond his personal sweet spot. I'm not going to pick a corner that I'm not good at. Once I choose a corner, I stick to it, because I know it's natural for me and I do it well. But temptation is real, you push where you're strongest. You've got to resist that extra complement of risk. Confidence on familiar lines, discipline in avoiding overreach, a trademark Marc Márquez balancing act. While much of the paddock eyes Francesco Bagnaia, Márquez says his benchmark is much closer to home. I've said it before, Alex is the rival I respect most right now. He's the most consistent, fastest in all conditions and tracks. I'm comparing myself to him more than anyone. Keep an eye on the Yamaha on the next garage, not just the Ducati across the pit lane. Marquez's FP2 run was all about gathering tire data. He mapped out a clear plan to balance long-run feel with qualifying pace. First, I understood the medium. Then I did a time attack on the soft, just enough laps so tomorrow the soft still has life. It's about knowing when the medium is stronger and when the soft starts to drop off. And that extra speed? You pay for it with risk, so you must manage it, push only when you're fully at ease. A surgeon's approach to tire crossover, turning raw pace into a weekend-long advantage. As FP2 wraps and the sun sets over Aragon, Marc Márquez's data-driven confidence has set a high bar. But the real test waits in qualifying. With brotherly rivalry, corner craft, and tire science on his side, Márquez is poised for another Aragon charge. Will he convert Friday form into pole, or will the midfield pack close the gap? Stay tuned. While teammate Marc Márquez lit up the timesheets, Bagnaia's Friday was defined by frustration. Finishing 10th in FP1 and 9th in the combined session, the Italian narrowly secured a direct Q2 spot. But beneath that result was a deeper issue, a stubborn lack of front-end feel. We've been trying different things. Same bike as the last few races. Nothing's changed with the feeling, just trying longer settings now. A bit more excursion helped slightly, but the problem at the front end, still there. Low grip at Aragon is magnifying Bagnaia's issues, especially when trying to push for time on the soft rear. The two-time MotoGP champion knows the numbers don't lie, especially when comparing with Marquez. We're here to win. That's always the goal. I'm optimistic. Maybe a small setup tweak in the morning changes everything. But right now, in Sector 2, Marc's taking half a second from me. We just need to keep working, stay focused, and find the right balance. While Marquez rides with natural flow at Aragon, Bagnaia is still searching for comfort, especially under braking and mid-corner transitions. It's not just the bike that's under review. Bagnaia is overhauling his riding style in a bid to get results. I had to try something new. The bike's not working how I need it to. Braking hard like I used to? That's not effective anymore. Especially not here. I'm losing the front even while going straight. So I need to do different things. This isn't just setup tinkering, it's a rider adapting his entire approach to survive a crucial turning point in the season. As online rumors intensify, linking Bagnaia to a possible exit and a certain blue suit, the Italian was blunt in his response. When there's a contract, it's signed. That's it. I said it back at Silverstone and I'll say it again. I will never abandon what I signed. I want to stay at Ducati. Ducati wants me here. Until the end of this contract, and the next. The paddock whispers have grown louder with every race that Marc Márquez outpaces him on equal machinery. But Bagnaia isn't budging, standing by his team and his principles. Beyond performance, Bagnaia voiced concern over the track surface itself, particularly the starting grid. We talked about it in the safety commission. It's not about dust, it's the grip. It feels like the asphalt just isn't sticky. I started third and slid all the way to turn 1. Even from second, it was the same. It's hard to explain. But it's not clean versus dirty, it's just low grip. A recurring issue at Motorland Aragon that could impact race starts for everyone. As Friday ends in Aragon, Bagnaia may be behind on the stopwatch, but not in conviction. From setup struggles to social media speculation, he's tackling pressure from all sides while defending both his contract and character. With Q2 up next and a grid full of rising threats, Saturday will demand both speed and resolve. Coming into Aragon off impressive form, Quartararo joked about almost securing a reverse pole as he grappled with a bike that felt unpredictable on the soft rear tire. It was a really tough day. The soft tire felt strange, the electronics started acting crazy, and the bike would move without warning. Despite a solid bike setup that had been largely consistent since Qatar, the sudden change in behavior on new rubber frustrated his rhythm, forcing him to abort several late-time attacks. The key problem was the bike's erratic movement at full lean, making it impossible to predict whether he'd lose grip on corner entry or exit. On the bike, you never know if you're going to lose it on the edge or on the exit. I did only 4 laps, and all were cut short by mistakes or running wide. This uncertainty is especially dangerous at a circuit like Aragon, where confidence on the limit is crucial. Fabio confirmed that the grip of the Aragon track surface wasn't the issue. Rather, it was how the bike's electronics interacted with the soft tire that caused sudden slips. The setup is good, but when we change rubber, the bike behaves completely differently, and the electronics go crazy. He expressed hope that his team's engineers can find a solution swiftly, emphasizing that understanding this unpredictable behavior is their priority. With soft tire attacks compromised, Quartararo aimed to use the medium rear for his final time attack runs but didn't get the chance. I wanted to try the medium for the last attack, but we didn't have it ready. If the same issues persist in the sprint, I think I'll go with the medium tire. The medium may offer a safer, more predictable alternative to manage his pace and consistency in the race. Despite the difficulties and risk of falling further back, Quartararo consciously avoided over-pushing to prevent crashes. I kept trying, but I didn't want to crash just to get into Q2. So I stayed calm and accepted the situation. This measured approach may pay dividends during qualifying and race day as the team seeks solutions. Fabio Quartararo's reverse pole day at Aragon highlights the fine margins in MotoGP between control and chaos. With electronics and tire behavior posing new puzzles, Yamaha's engineers have their work cut out before qualifying. The Frenchman remains calm, aiming to turn the page and make a strong showing despite Friday's setbacks. Miller's morning, FP1, displayed encouraging rhythm. He posted consistent mid-148s on mediums, slotting inside the top 10. Yet, in the final 10 minutes of FP2, once he fitted the soft rear, the bike's demeanor flipped. It felt good until the softs went on. Shockingly, I went 0.2 faster than the new mediums, then suddenly the balance was gone. He completed only 4 hot laps, each cut short by understeer or an abrupt snap in corner entry, underscoring the razor-thin margin between speed and stability. Describing the challenge as akin to wrestling a wild horse mid-corner, Miller dissected how the bike's rear would abruptly lose adhesion, forcing him into defensive riding. At turns 1 and 12, everything seems calm. Then mid-turn it slides massively. I'm frantically shifting weight to the rear to pick it up. It's like trying to control a massive slide while on a hot lap. He admitted early braking into turn 1 was a tactic to maintain rear load, but upsetting the tire only magnified the sideways battle. With tire concessions proving pivotal this year, Miller's FP2 strategy mixed new mediums and a medium-soft run to simulate sprint conditions. The verdict was clear. The medium felt predictable. I was happy with that pace. On the soft, grip suddenly vanished, electronics went haywire, and the bike felt alien. If this persists in the sprint, I'll risk softs only if we can manage the slide, otherwise medium might be the safer play. Balancing Q2 ambitions against sprint race viability will require a finely judged compromise. Off-track speculation about Promac's 2026 lineup, including Toprak Razgatlioglu links, adds another layer of pressure. Miller is eyeing setup insights from Yamaha test rider Augusto Fernandez to stabilize his package. Augusto's been running a different geometry and weight distribution to use the rear more effectively. We'll try those changes. If it helps me rein in that slide, we'll head that direction. Success this weekend could be critical not only for silverware but for cementing his seat beyond 2025. Friday's unexpected strife has forced Jack Miller to confront a sliding puzzle of electronics, tire dynamics, and setup nuances. If Pramac can decode the soft tire mystery and implement geometry tweaks before qualifying, expect Miller back in the hunt for podium contention. The Aragon weekend is young, and the real test begins when the lights go out tomorrow. Thanks for watching ZNGP today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!